That was bad, y'all. Oh yeah, that was bad. Shakur Stevenson defeats Edwin de los Santos, and it was not the fight that you were expecting. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Shakur Stevenson defeats Edwin de los Santos. The scorecards were pretty close, and let's jump right into the mix. I want to give you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. And normally, I try to be as objective as possible. The good is the fight is over. That's the good thing for me, because I got to go to the grocery store, and I'm glad it's over. I must say, the great Ego Stradamus strikes again. Now, I was literally thinking about doing one of my often imitated but never duplicated Boxingego watch party, BWP, for this particular fight. It was a little bit off-putting because the fight, they're trying to pair it with Grand Prix or whatever, and the fight was on a Thursday. So I was like, do I really want to do it? And to make a long story short, I decided against it at the last minute. I was really going to do a watch party for this, but I was like, man, last time Shakur fought an awkward puncher, Nakathila, he just put on like kind of an abysmal performance. It was just like very dry. So I was like, and I just got cold feet and I didn't do it. I'm so glad I didn't do it because it's physically draining for me as a content creator. And I'm not asking for sympathy. This is what I do. This is what I choose to do for my profession. But I'm just saying, sitting online and entertaining people and giving nonstop commentary is rough on my voice, talking for 2-3 hours. I am so glad I did not do a watch party for this particular fight because I was not thoroughly entertained by this fight. Had higher expectations than the fight delivered. As far as the fight, I'm not even going to give you a super technical breakdown because that would be a waste of time. I really feel there were not that many great technical moments to the point where I need to even do that. Like, it just wasn't that type of fight for all that watched it. Now, one of the bad things was they said that Edwin de los Santos, I believe, landed the fewest amount of punches for this division in CompuBox history. So Shakur Stevenson, he's always pretty hard to hit, and Shakur Stevenson used every square inch of the ring. There was times where he just kind of kept a distance, but like not even, it was really weird because it wasn't even like keep your distance and defensively. Like he was galloping in the ring and like creating even more space than what was really needed to be safe. And you've seen Edwin de los Santos throughout the fight. He was annoyed. Post-fight, he took some jabs at Shakur Stevenson, says he's not a fighter, he's a runner, and he didn't come to fight, he came to run a track meet, and that's why I call him Shakira Twitterson. And I'm just being real. There's a lot of times where old media, they do this particularly to like black or Cuban fighters, say, oh, this guy's boring, and it's a rough fight, or this Cuban guy's a runner, Erislandy Lara, like they did it with the Canelo fight. But this wasn't one of those instances where I seen old media just kind of being race fans and racist and things like that. And this just simply wasn't a good fight. And for me, I always keep it real. I'm always keeping a buck like a dollar store on my channel. And when I see a fight like this, like Rancis Bartholomew versus Robert Easter was another one. Like, I don't care who's in it. Black, Cuban, white, Puerto Rican, Mexican. I don't care. That was not a good fight. And that was the same thing here. I believe they said at some point in the fight that no fighter had thrown double-digit punches in a round. Like neither guy. I don't know. And it was kind of disappointing for Shakur Stevenson. And I want to talk about that in the bad and the ugly of my assessment. Shakur Stevenson, he came out, he had drip, they announced that I believe Crawford and Shakur got a sponsorship with Logan Paul KSI Prime Energy drink or sports drink or whatever. So he had the Prime necklace, kind of like Crawford did in the Errol Spence fight, and they made that public, that relationship. But then now if you look online, all of the comments for the fight are negative. So that's not a great way to advocate. Like, you're wearing a Prime necklace, like, oh, check out this sports drink, and then many people aren't satisfied with the performance. You know what I'm saying? That's not really a great way to usher in that partnership to me. Like for Crawford, it worked out beautifully because he dismantled Errol Spence Jr. whilst rocking the Prime necklace. So, that's just a better sell because he looks like a colossal, unstoppable athlete. Shakur Stevenson, there was moments where he looked almost vulnerable. And for me, I noticed a pattern with Shakur Stevenson when he's in there with awkward punchers. He seems to be a lot more conservative, a lot more economical, and a lot more reserved in his offense almost to a fault. Not almost, but to a fault is a better way to say it. And it's the same thing. He got a lot of flack when he was fighting against that African dude. Did we get him? Nakathila, right? And that win, a lot of Shakur Stevenson's wins have not aged well. Like Nakathila, he got knocked out by Muratalla, Robert Garcia's dude. And then he just recently got knocked out again. Look it up on BoxRec. So that aged pretty poorly, And Shakur Stevenson had another kind of one of these performances where there was a lot of criticism. People said they were falling asleep. It was boring. Tim Bradley even said that on ESPN for that particular fight. He just said this is not the business, so to speak. And then now you're in there with another southpaw. Well, this one's a southpaw, another awkward puncher. And it was kind of the same thing. Post-fight, Shakur Stevenson kind of made some excuses, but said he didn't want to. He said he got to learn to take more breaks away from the gym. But like, to me, that's not good. You're a millionaire fighter, right? And at the end of the day, you should know that you're like, it's not like you're a first year pro. You should know what your body needs if it needs rest and recovery. You sign up for the fight, you say you can make it. And the bad thing is, and the ugly is, ESPN keeps trying to like almost cover for their fighters. Do you notice every bad performance by a major like ESPN or top ranked fighter where they look good or lose, there's some built-in excuse. Every single one. Pacquiao loses to Mayweather. Oh, his shoulder was hurt. Lomachenko loses to Teofimo. Oh, it was his shoulder. Teofimo loses to Kambosos on DAZN. They said, oh, Teofimo's esophagus exploded. He almost nearly died. And so on and so forth. I could do this all day. Same thing with Shakur. He's saying that he got to take breaks from the gym and almost insinuated, he didn't say it, but almost insinuated that something was wrong in camp that he didn't want to reveal. And he admitted that his performance was not the greatest, and he said it was a bad performance. So I do like that about Shakur Stevenson. At least he's keeping it a buck with himself and being honest, and he's able to, without seeing the fight, but just how he felt in there and the tempo of the fight, he was able to give himself a harsh breakdown in that self-reflection. So I do respect that, because guys like that or girls like that, if you're really willing to tell yourself the truth, then you can actually improve. So I will give him that. He does seem like a perfectionist in that regard. But we've been here before with the Nakathila performance. Edwin de los Santos, he seemed like he gave him a lot of respect, too much respect. He says post-fight he knew he wasn't feeling good, so he knew he was going to box him, but it's just the manner that he did it. I don't think Shakur did himself any favors. Now, again, with old media, sometimes they try to destroy certain fighters, reps, and say, oh, this is boring and stuff. And I've seen it at times where it really wasn't applicable. But the ESPN commentary, they had to keep mentioning that the crowd was booing. And when I tell you the crowd was booing, they were booing their asses off. And it was borderline crazy. Like, I struggle, at least on the spot, to think of a fight that had so many continual boos throughout it. It was pretty bad, and it was that one of the rounds where I think it's almost like they were calling for Vaquero, which is Navarrete, to come back out or something, because it sounded like in the middle of the Shakur fight, they were bored and the people were like, Vaquero, Vaquero, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, they calling for the co-main to come back out. So it was really raining boos. If you go on Twitter, you'll see it's just nonstop a cesspool. And I try to be so realistic and, real respectful of the fighters, and, they're risking their lives and stuff. But I have to be honest, this just wasn't a good fight. It was not the fight that I expected. Neither guy impressed me. Like Edwin De Los Santos didn't. And to be honest, it looks worse for Shakur. Edwin De Los Santos already had a loss on his record, I believe in 2022. So Shakur is the undefeated guy. And another thing that almost amped it and amplified the bad performance is Shakur. He was in the back with Terrence Crawford. Floyd Mayweather came to visit him, and Andre Ward. So you have Shakur in these trio of pound for pound black fighter. It was like the Black Avengers, right? And I added up their resume. It's 142-0 because they're all undefeated fighters, right? And then they walked out. Floyd didn't walk out with them, but at least Ward and Terrence Crawford walked out with Shakur, etc. And it was like a great moment and a dope scene and great photo op. And for that to be the performance behind it just wasn't the greatest. Also, this was for the vacant WBC title. So for a vacant title, that just wasn't, it really wasn't a great showing to become a champion. Everyone's booing you, and we've seen more convincing work from Shakur Stevenson. So I don't know what was up, but we got what we got, and there's no excuses. It is what it is. It just was really flat. So the other thing that looks bad for Shakur in this situation is I feel like Shakur Stevenson, his talk, and it's not just Shakur, but this is who I'm talking about for this fight, but this new generation in general, but Shakur also, is they get on TikTok, get on Twitter, and say all these things. And at the weigh-in, Shakur's like, I'm gonna F you up. I'm gonna F you up. I'm gonna destroy you. I'm gonna F you up. And his eyes, he's wide-eyed and bug-eyed, and he's saying all this stuff with conviction, and you get people amped up and hyped up. Oh, he's going to destroy Edwin De Los Santos. And then the very next day after the weigh-in, when you just said, I'm going to F you up, I'm going to F you up, that's the performance that you turn in. It doesn't match. The intensities doesn't match. Like if Tupac said he was angry with Biggie, and then he went in the studio and his diss wasn't the same energy that he was speaking on the phone, then you're like, what? That doesn't match, you know? But we know Tupac was a workhorse and consistent. If he was mad at Biggie, he coming out with Hit 'Em Up after the studio session. And he gonna have the same energy that he had on the phone in the studio and on the track. And he's gonna put that same conviction and passion into his art. This is Shakur Stevenson's art. And the whole, I'm gonna F you up, I'm gonna F you up. They were talking about Shakur doesn't get hit and he's hard to hit, and his face was clean at the end of the fight. True. But then you look at Edwin De Los Santos, his face was clean too. So that's another thing that it makes you question Shakur Stevenson in this division at lightweight based on the performance. You had two performances, one against the Yoshido dude or whatever that nobody knew, and you destroy him, but no one really give you credit. This was a credible guy, and it was also reminiscent to like a Nakathila performance. The guy is never hurt. You're never able to hurt him. His face is not marked up. Like even, I know a lot of people got mad at Devin Haney and said, oh, Lomachenko beat him and all this type of stuff. You look at Lomachenko at the end of that fight, his face was tattered up. Even though I don't know how bad, if he hurt Lomachenko, I think he did. But, you know, Lomachenko got a good poker face. But regardless of all that, Lomachenko's face looked like he had been through a fight. Edwin De Los Santos and Shakur, neither one of them looked like they had even been in a fight. I understand it from Edwin because he wasn't able to corner or catch Shakur Stevenson. But for Shakur Stevenson, you know, he was just jabbing and he wasn't really heavy on the power punches. And it just wasn't an awesome showing, to be honest, from either guy. And people say they want to see the Devin Haney fight, and people say they want to see the Gervonta Davis fight, and it leaves me with questions, to be honest. It leaves me with questions. Like Gervonta Davis, he's the southpaw, and he's more explosive, and he's more experienced than Edwin De Los Santos, and he's undefeated, and he sparred you, and you seemingly had all this trouble with Edwin De Los Santos, and you're not as aggressive as you normally would be with Robson Casasio or somebody lesser. So can you beat Gervonta Davis? Because if that was Gervonta Davis tonight, you definitely wouldn't have beat him looking like that, in my opinion. And that's just me being honest. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I couldn't do a Boxingego watch party for this. I'm glad I conserved my energy. Let me know what you guys think of the fight. My breakdown is probably more entertaining than the fight was itself. So get it from me. Subscribe to the channel. It's free and I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new, interactive, and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.